and welcome to my channel. Welcome to another reading from me. So today's topic is going to be on something I haven't done before, but it is similar to my usual relationship readings. I just thought it would be cool, and the topic is how can you recognize your future spouse? So I'm very curious to do this reading because, again, I've never done it before, so it will be interesting to see what messages come through. And as usual, I will start by mentioning I have chosen these crystals intuitively from my pile of crystals. I asked Spirit which crystals I should choose for this particular topic, and these are the ones that stood out in this order. So for those of you who want to choose with just crystals, pile number 1, you have this red jasper. Okay. Pile number 2, you have this amethyst. Pile number 3, you have this fluorite crystal. Okay, so you can pause the video if you need more time to decide. I need to arrange them a little bit, okay? Yeah, you can pause the video if you need more time to decide. These are your options. Number 1, number 2, number 3. As usual, my recommendation is that you take some moments to meditate upon the question, take some deep breaths, exhale longer than you inhale. That will help center you and calm you down. Keep your eyes closed. You can also address more specific questions if you'd like, but try to keep it within the general topic of the question. And then open your eyes once your mind has relaxed and choose the first crystal that stands out to you intuitively without overthinking it. If you are drawn to more than one, of course, feel free to watch several or even all 3 of them and take whichever messages resonate. Before I sign off, I do want to remind you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. It's the easiest way to support me and it is free. And also consider clicking on the notifications bell if you want to be notified when I upload a new video. Thank you. All right, so this is for those of you who want to choose with a card as well as a crystal. This is going to be the selection phase for the card. I'm going to be using the Oracle of Mystical Moments, one of my favorite decks. So Spirit, tell me about pile number 1, the people who chose the red jasper. How can they recognize their future spouse? Spirit, tell me about pile number 2, the amethyst. How can they recognize? Spirit, tell me about pile number 3, the fluorite. How can they recognize their future spouse? Holy shit. Pardon my language, but some of you can probably recognize why I am psyched, because, hold on, I'm going to zoom in. Just look at these cards. I mean, look at them. I did mention this in many other videos. I don't know if people remember this, but it's fascinating to me how I take out the crystals and I pull the oracle cards, and so often the oracle cards match the colors and the vibes of the crystals. And this is such a perfect example. I mean, it's awesome how the crystals match the cards. Well, vice versa, because again, I selected the cards afterwards. So yeah, this is for those of you who want to choose with cards and crystals. Okay, I had to fix the image a bit. So pile number 1, you have this card over here with or this jasper, this red jasper crystal. Okay, pile number 2, you have this card over here and or this amethyst crystal. Pile number 3, you have this card over here and or this fluorite crystal. All right, so these are your options. You can pause the video if you need more time to decide. As usual, my recommendation is that you take some moments to meditate upon the question, take some deep breaths, exhale longer than you inhale. That will help center you and calm you down. And yeah, you can also address more specific questions, but try to keep them within the general topic of how can I recognize my future spouse. And yeah, once you have meditated a little bit with your eyes closed, allowed your mind to go blank, ask the question, and then choose the first card that stands out or the crystal that stands out intuitively without overthinking or analyzing or choosing by favorite colors. All right. So yeah, before I sign off, I want to remind you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. It's the easiest way to support me and it's free. And also consider clicking the notifications bell if you want to be notified when I upload a new video. All right. I will see you at your pile. Okay, so pile number 1, this is your reading if you have chosen this card over here, Tiny Triumphs with number 21, and or this red jasper crystal. So I'm going to select the cards right now. You can skip directly to the interpretation. I'm going to add timestamps. So Spirit, tell me about pile number 1, the people who chose the red jasper crystal. How can they recognize their future spouse? We have the number 21 on the world, a repeating of the number 21, 2 of Cups, the Empress, 5 of Wands, the Chariot, 6 of Wands. I feel like this person is going to be easy to recognize, pile number 1. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. How can they recognize their future spouse? Okay, these two came out together. Yeah, this one wanted to come out. Okay, so we have the 2 of Pentacles, we have the 6 of Cups, we have the World again, we have the Magician, and the 4 of Wands that came out together, I mean. Chariot, the Tower, 6 of Wands. Let's get some Oracle cards. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. How can they recognize their future spouse? Ooh, Innocence. It's reflecting the 6 of Cups that came out, you know, same vibe. Gonna hold that thought. Let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. How can they recognize their future spouse? Rhinoceros, moderation, number 32, which boils down to a number 5, which can also connect to the 5th house, which is connected to children. Let's get another one. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. How can they recognize their future spouse? Karma. Okay. Number 16. Oh, that's very nice. So, pile number 1. Okay, we have the World card coming out twice. We have a lot of very, very positive cards here. The 2 of Cups, the Empress, 6 of Wands, the Chariot. All right. And I'm going to take it step by step. Oh, wait, I forgot one more thing. Sorry. To read the description of this card. Okay, so Tiny Triumphs, number 21. Let's see what it says. Attitude, belief, power of perseverance. A big mouse dressed as a circus trainer is holding a small eagle. The situation is inverted. The predator is small and the prey is big. This card urges us to believe in ourselves. Don't ever think you're too small or too outmatched in a situation. Inner size is what matters. Think back to a time when you felt good about an achievement. Don't give up now. With patience and hard work, you will triumph in the end. Okay, so I'm getting 2 messages at the same time. It could be either one of these 2 is accurate or it's both of them at the same time. So first of all, there is a message for you, and there is this message that you are very likely to be able to recognize this person once you are in a position of success to some extent, and once you have achieved what you wanted in life outside of relationships to a certain degree. This is a small message, as in it's not for a lot of you, but this is a specific message for some people here in this pile, especially for those of you who are maybe focusing way too much on the relationship aspect of life and maybe neglecting your true callings and your fulfillment outside of relationships. For most of you, though, you can recognize this person as someone who obviously is perseverant. And I have to say, with the tiny triumphs and all of this, I think this is the kind of person that at first sight may not necessarily come across as someone who's very successful, or how should I put it? Like, you wouldn't necessarily look at this person and think, oh, this is someone who is hugely successful, confident, has everything figured out. You might even have a tendency to either underestimate this person or even in some way overlook them. So they're not going to be like someone that I think takes your breath away from the first time that you see them. So this is one thing that I see. And now we have the World and the Two of Pentacles in the present. So I'm going to start with clarifications because I want to get more details. Spirit, please clarify the World. The Moon. Okay, please clarify the Two of Pentacles. Strength. So this person is someone who at the current moment is ending some significant cycle in their lives. And at the same time, this could be a person who is from a different background, a different culture, or they're at a significant distance, either distance in a physical sense, which I think is most likely for most of you, or they could be distant in the sense that you just haven't met them yet, all right? So this is a person who is very much ending some kind of significant stage of self-development with that Moon showing up underneath and with the Strength. They are someone who is really walking into their strength right now after an ending of a time when maybe they went through a bit of confusion, a bit of self-sabotaging. And so right now I see them being very busy. They're being very interested in pursuing a certain goal and really just going after what they want overall. And the Two of Cups and the Six of Cups, I said this before, so the innocence, the Six of Cups, this person does have a strong amount of innocence in their makeup. Like, maybe they're someone who looks younger than their age. That could be a thing. Maybe for some of you they are younger, but I'm going to wait to see what the Astro cards have to say about that. What I can tell you right off the bat with this support is that this is going to be a person who is interested in serious relationships. They're definitely not a player. I mean, obviously this is going to be the future spouse, so it kind of makes sense. Although sometimes, who knows, sometimes people do date players, very rarely, and they change. But in most cases, people who are marriage-minded, they tend to be serious. And this is definitely a person who has not lost their ability to form strong emotional bonds. They're someone who is looking for a deep, mutually fulfilling relationship. They want someone who has an equal amount of involvement in the relationship. The Two of Cups speaks of, very strong intimacy, good communication with the partner. So this is what this person is looking for. And with the Six of Cups, with the children, again, there is a certain innocence about them, a certain purity that shows up, especially in matters of the heart and how they feel about relationships. The Empress and the World in opposition. So this is really giving me a repeated theme for many of you, that this is a person who is at a significant distance from you right now because this shows up in opposition. Hold on, let me get a clarification. Please clarify the World here. Okay, we have, oh my gosh, we have the Empress again. Okay, please clarify the Empress. Seven of Wands. So this person, the very first thing that crossed my mind, I'm sure a lot of people are not going to want to hear this, but I have to read the cards. I have a responsibility here. But I feel that for some of you, this could be a situation where you may think you are too good for them, or you may think that you would like someone who has, I don't know, a better appearance or a better social status. Something like that could be a situation. Definitely not for all of you, but with the Empress coming through very strongly, it is a possibility. The Seven of Wands also speaks of a certain amount of defensiveness and a kind of inapproachability. So I think this person, either you or them, okay, so it could be from either party towards the other one. This could be a person who is intimidated by your physical beauty and does not really want to approach you at first, or it could be the other way around in some cases. Like, you may think that this person is out of your league. Sorry, my voice. You may think that they're out of your league and that, you know, you're afraid to start any kind of interaction. So because of this, there might be delay in getting into any kind of a relationship with this person, but there is also the fact that I think this person is at a distance. Now, for some of you yet, this could also be that this person right now is actually in a relationship, especially a relationship with a woman. So for those of you who are straight women or you are gay men or something, well, no, if you're gay men, that wouldn't work. But mostly if you're straight women, basically, this could be another woman. So like this person could be in a relationship at this moment with another woman. And that could be the reason why, at least for a while, you would not be able to get together. With the Five of Wands in the past, clarified by the Magician, and the Four of Wands, this is a person who has been driven by a strong capacity to listen. So this is someone who has learned to listen. So there's someone, this is why I was getting a vibe, I kind of wanted to say this from the beginning, that this is a person who does not come across too strongly. I don't think there's someone who has like a particularly intense aura. There's someone who has learned how to listen to other people and how looking for opportunities around them in reality is going to get them what they want. So the Magician and the Four of Wands together, this definitely shows that this person has been motivated by achieving a certain goal, a certain dream. And it is also possible that this is someone, I mean, again, very specific. This could be a person who is in a profession, in a line of work where they have to listen a lot, like a psychotherapist, some kind of a consultant, maybe some kind of a teacher as well. But I do think this is a person who's very good at communication, and one of their strengths is communicating. The Chariot and the Tower, so I'm going to have to get a clarification. Please clarify the Tower, Spirit. Wow, the Sun. Oh my gosh. Please clarify the Chariot. So this is a person who is going to make the first move. This is what I see. This is not a person who is going to wait around. It might take a bit before they actually make a move towards you, but they are definitely the type that is determined. There's someone who also likes to be on the move. So they might be someone who is traveling a lot for their profession, or there may be someone who actually has to move to the area where you are in order to get in contact with you. But I definitely see that this person in the future is going to be way more active in some ways, like way more determined. But right now at the moment, I do see them as very determined towards working towards something, but they also have, like, they're having some kind of period of rest. And I also see them as someone who is very good at using introspection, meditation, maybe even things that are like borderline psychic in order to get what they want. This could also be a person that will go through some kind of experiences that are going to humble them in some way. So they will have some kind of an ego death in the future, most likely before they pursue you. Or before, like, yeah, before you get together. And I also see with Six of Wands, this is someone who, again, is the kind of person that is never really happy with what they have, which maybe in some ways sounds negative, but on the positive side, this is someone who constantly seeks to improve themselves. And with the Hermit here and the 16, the Karma, this gives me the vibe of someone who has potentially strong Ketu energy in their horoscope. Ketu and Mercury and potentially Leo. These are the strongest ones. So Ketu can also be Scorpio, because in Vedic astrology is the co-ruler of Scorpio. But yeah, I definitely see strong Ketu energy with this person. So they could be someone, like I said, who on the surface is maybe not particularly intense. They could even seem kind of like disinterested or detached from the world. But there's someone who has a plan, and there's someone who has their eyes on the prize. And I also see with this karma situation that the way that you meet this person is definitely going to be unexpected. So it's not going to be a situation where you go on a dating website looking for a relationship. The karma card makes me think that this is going to be something serendipitous. So when you least expect sometimes, or just when you don't expect it, you're not thinking about romance, and this is how you will meet this person. And there's someone who is introverted by and large, even if they are good at communicating and maybe they have social graces, you can tell this person has a rich inner world and they really keep to themselves a lot. Okay, let me get the astro cards. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. How can they recognize their future spouse? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, clarification. I mean clarification as in not clarification. How would I say it? Is Mercury retrograde, because I'm having a hard time finding my words, or maybe it's just me having gone through health issues and my brain is messed up. But it's not clarification, it's a repetition. It's a repetition of the theme, so a confirmation. That was the word that I was looking for. Because I was talking about how Leo, this person has, oh my gosh, and we have Ketu as well. Oh my gosh, yeah, very strong confirmation. So we have Leo, we have Venus, we have South Node of the Moon, we have the opposition card, and we have the 9th house. This is a confirmation of that Jupiterian world card energy, because number 3 is ruled by Jupiter in numerology. Okay, so you have the number 3 here. You also have the world card with the number 21 that came out twice. So again, right off the bat, this is a repeated theme that this person is living at a distance from you. All right. For most of you, this is a physical distance situation. Most likely there is a background difference that is quite significant. So this could be a religion, could be ethnicity, could be whatever, anything that has to do with culture and background difference. I have to say, with Venus showing up here, I did say that this person could be intimidated by your beauty, but with Venus showing up, the Empress showing up twice in opposition, I wonder if this is the other way around. I have to say this. Pile number 1. I think this person, I think this is a person that may feel or look like they're not in your league. Like you might be thinking, yeah, no way is this person going to look at me. Okay, like, yeah, there's someone who's really good looking. They can have anyone they want. They're not going to be interested in me. I really think this is very strong for a lot of you, because again, I did say the Empress could be the other way around. So again, it could still be, maybe it's both ways. It could be like both of you are kind of staring at each other like, yeah, that's never going to happen. This person is not going to like me. But I feel like beauty somehow, physical beauty, is going to potentially be an obstacle in this relationship, okay? With Venus, this person has a strong Venus. I was actually going to say this right off the bat when I saw the number 6 showing up multiple times, because we have the 6 of Wands, we have the 6 of Cups. I don't know if we had other 6s, I don't remember. But that is Venus energy. I was going to say it, but I didn't say it. I forgot. Anyway, this person could have prominent Taurus placements, Libra placements, or they could just have a prominent Venus energy in their horoscope. Maybe they have Venus in the first house. That would explain a lot, because Venus is a planet that shows physical beauty. So people who have Venus aspecting or in the ascendant, so in the ascendant or aspecting the ascendant, they tend to be well above average good looking, all right, irrespective of their gender. So even if this is a man, I have to say with Venus, they have social graces, they probably have harmonious features, they probably have nice facial features. So they have traditionally attractive features, okay? And maybe in your case, you have Venus connected to the archetypes of the spouse. Those of you who come from my astrology background, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, you can go and check my channel, Astro Martine. I have tons of videos there. I actually have a playlist called The Spouse Archetype in the Natal Chart. Loads of videos there where I explain how placements in the natal horoscope give hints and insights into the kind of person that you end up with in a long-term relationship, if not a marriage. And you could have one of those placements. You could have Venus in the 7th house. You could have Venus maybe conjunct the Lord of the 7th house. Venus is Darakaraka, etc., right? So like Venus could be heavily influencing that spouse archetype in your horoscope. This would be a strong confirmation that you're definitely meant to hear this reading, but it's not the only situation, okay? South Node, again, very strong confirmation of what I said. What I can tell you with this person, and also with the karma and the South Node, I was thinking this again, but I didn't say it. I think this is a fated situation. And again, I have to look at this also from my perspective as an astrologer, as someone who has studied Vedic astrology extensively over the past decade. There are certain placements in the horoscope that basically show that you are meant to marry someone you have had a contract with from a past life. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if you had some of those placements. Either way, I think it is quite possible that you have some kind of a past life connection with this person. You might have at least one conjunction in between either one of your south nodes to the other person's planets. Okay, so that is a strong indication from an astrological perspective that you have had some kind of a past life connection. Depending on what planet is conjunct the south node, or Ketu as it's called in Vedic astrology, you will see the nature of the relationship. But yeah, so either way, if you just look at it from their makeup, like I said, this is a person who's introverted, who keeps to themselves a lot. They're mysterious, they're secretive, they're deep, and they're mysterious, and they could also be really sensitive, bordering on psychic. All right. And the Leo, again, this is kind of like a dichotomy, because the Leo is extroverted, it's fun, it's, you know, like out there, wants to be in the limelight. Ketu is more introverted, you know, more kind of wants to be alone. So I think this person does have these contradicting energies within them that also explains this opposition showing up. Of course, the opposition could also show that you and this person have a lot of oppositions in between your horoscopes, or you're just very opposite to one another. Of course, it's also a confirmation of the fact that this person is really different. They come from a different background. But I do think that this person possesses paradoxical characteristics. So on the one hand, they're introverted, they're sensitive. On the other hand, they can be life of the party. I don't know about life of the party, but yeah, maybe in some situations even that. But they can also just feel comfortable, you know, in social situations, comfortable in their skin. They can easily, you know, charm other people if they want to. But I also see this very strongly introverted side, where maybe they like to spend time alone. They like to be in their heads. They want privacy, right, to pursue maybe their hobbies, their interests, their passions. And the 9th house, again, this could be a situation where this person is somehow involved in higher education because of that 9th house. So the 9th house is connected to above master's level education, right? So, or specialized courses, PhD, stuff like that. Higher education, religion, things that have to do with philosophy and stuff like that. So this person could be someone who I don't know, is working in a profession where they are using these types of information. Maybe they're studying philosophy, maybe they're teaching philosophy. Maybe there's someone who is heavily involved with a religious organization, or their sense of faith, their belief system is very important to them. This could be a person who's also involved in traveling, or they like traveling a lot. That could be another way that you could recognize them. You could maybe meet them on a travel, right? Like ninth house shows faraway travels or long-term travels, okay? So this person could, you know, have a lot of these ninth house related characteristics. Maybe they're also into writing, publishing, and I definitely see that this person is interested in education, could have higher education, like I said, could even be teaching. Okay, so let me get the Astro dice to see what other details I can get. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. How can they recognize their future spouse? Okay, so we have the number 12, which again kind of makes me think of Hermit energy. We also have Mercury, yet another confirmation. And we have the sign of Cancer. Okay, so this explains that moon that came through in the first position as well. So this person could also have, like, you know, different combinations of energies. The moon could come through very strongly in their horoscopes as well. So this person, with the moon, they could sometimes be a little bit sensitive. Well, it definitely is a testimony to them being sensitive, but they could also be sometimes a bit indecisive, or they can come across as quite shy, like surprisingly shy sometimes. Maybe you wouldn't expect them to be like that. And I also think this person is probably very close to their family. Okay, so especially the mother and the mother side of the family, they can be really attached to them. And they're also like, the Cancer energy and the Mercury does confirm this 2 of Cups and the 6 of Cups. Again, number 2 is ruled by the moon in numerology. So we did have some moon energy coming through in the tarot cards as well. But I do think this person has maybe this kind of childlike innocence when it comes to emotions, like I said. So I do see this as a confirmation. There's someone who, again, for some of you, this could be a person who hasn't had much experience in relationships, and so they're quite innocent in that regard. And they really are the types, it makes me think of, you know, these trends on social media about golden retrievers versus black cats. I definitely think this person would tend more towards a golden retriever, even though on the surface they may look like a black cat, if that makes sense. That's really the vibe that I'm getting from this reading. And also with the number 12, again, there is a confirmation for many of you. Again, this person is coming from a faraway land. Maybe they have lived abroad. You could, again, meet them abroad, or you can meet them in a time or a place of isolation with the number 12. They could also be working in areas connected to the 12th house, which again have to do with the subconscious, psychic ability, sleep issues, sleep-related issues. Could be, again, religion, beliefs, things like that. Could be hidden things. You know, the 12th house is seclusion, isolation. Maybe this is a person who works in a profession where they just work on their own, or they have to spend long hours in solitary activities. Maybe they do research. Something like that could be happening. And the number 12 also makes me think, for some of you, again, this is more specific, makes me think of the sea. So like maybe they live by the sea, or somehow, again, maybe their profession is connected to the sea or fluids or liquids. I don't know, trading or something. That could be a thing. Mercury definitely shows me that, again, Mercury is showing through as a pretty strong energy. And I have to say, in this reading, there was no Saturn. So I really think for most of you getting this reading, this is either a person who looks significantly younger than their age, or there's someone who is physically significantly younger than you. Okay, so when I say significantly, I would say, I don't know, at least 5 to 7 years, okay? And also with the Mercury, that makes sense with the 2 of Pentacles. So this is a person who's really resourceful, like I said. So there's someone who knows to make the most of what they have around them. They're good at communication, and they're intellectual, okay? So with Jupiter and Mercury coming through, this is definitely a person who is above average intelligent. Whether they have formal education or not, there's someone who is really curious. They're constantly learning. They have a bit of that childlike innocence where they probably are interested in multiple things. They have multiple hobbies. They could also have more than one stream of income, either at the current moment or when later on down the line when you get together and, you know, are married and all that stuff. But yeah, with the Mercury, it does show that they have this very sharp analytical ability and they're strong in their communication skills. Okay, this is pretty much what I have with these. I'm going to pick some more Astro notes because I'm curious with this one. So if you see some dust flying around, pretend you haven't seen anything. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. How can they recognize their future spouse? Okay. A lot of notes. Only 1 nakshatra? That's like, what? Come on, Spirit, tell me. How can pile number 1 recognize their future spouse? Okay. Yeah, this one wants to come out. Okay. A lot of influences. We have Aries. This is also a confirmation because I did say that Chariot, that I don't know if I mentioned Aries, but Aries is the co-ruler of Scorpio. I did mention Scorpio. When I see Chariot, I always kind of think of Aries. Pisces, okay, that makes sense with the 6 of Cups, the innocence. Makes sense with the 2 of Cups as well. Capricorn, okay, so we do have some Saturn. Okay, stay here and be nice. Let's see. Saturn. Okay, so we do have Saturn. I have to say with Saturn and Mercury showing up both, I still think for many of you, okay, so I'm going to put it like this. There will be a significant age gap between the 2 of you, okay? So either you're going to be younger or they're going to be younger. And with Saturn, there's an age gap of usually at least 7 years. Venus, okay, so Venus came out twice. Strong confirmation. She's got it. Mars, again. Another strong confirmation, more Aries, more Mars. We have the moon confirmation again. This person has a strong moon energy. We have Libra, so more Venus, repeated energies. And let's see. Leo, wow, amazing. Really, the same energies coming through, but we also have some Saturn, okay? So this person can also come across as very serious and professional and like focused on their career with that Capricorn coming through, irrespective of their age. We also have Satabishak, which is falling in Aquarius, ruled by Rahu. It is... I was saying this. I was thinking about saying this, but I was getting this vibe that this, for some of you, this person could be in something related to medicine or like pharmacy or something, but I'm going to hold that thought. So we have Revati, again, falling in Pisces, ruled by Mercury, and Chitra, falling in Virgo and Libra, ruled by Mars. Okay. So with Chitra, Revati especially, this definitely confirms that for most of you, this is going to be, and also with Venus coming out twice, and the moon coming out twice, this person is definitely going to be above average attractive, according to your standards, okay? And this person's face is going to stand out to you, so you're really going to like their face. Their skin might also attract you with the Venus, and usually with Venus, it's like traditionally attractive traits. So the skin, the eyes, especially with Revati, this person's eyes could really stand out. They could have maybe an unusual eye color, or their eyes are wide set. They're very dreamy and romantic. Just to name a few examples, Tom Hiddleston, Angelina Jolie, Rihanna, let me think, who else? A bunch of people, okay? With prominent Revati, they tend to have these dreamy, wide-set eyes, and somehow their eyes can really stand out. And also, the Revati definitely confirms this idea that this person really likes to travel, and maybe there's somebody who has already traveled a lot. And again, for many of you, this person is living at a distance from you. They could also be interested, like I said, in professions that involve traveling, and with Pisces and Revati coming through, Definitely a possibility that this person is doing something related to the sea, or like they really like the sea, or they live by the sea, or again, you could meet them by the sea. And with Revati and Satabisha coming through, they could be interested in flying. So they could be like a flight attendant, a pilot, anything involved with flying, or like working for, I don't know, flight coordination, stuff like that. Satabishak is also very much connected to a wounded healer archetype. So this person could have an aura about them that is wise for their age because they have suffered through some stuff. And Satabishak is basically the archetype of the person who suffers because of a particular problem, usually a health problem. And because of that, they become experts in learning how to heal that problem, okay? So, and I actually, if you're curious, on my channel, Astro Martine, I have a separate video on Satabishak Nakshatra, in case you're curious, because I won't get into all those details now. But it is a very interesting nakshatra, and it shows up very prominently in the horoscopes of people who tend to address wide audiences. Like they can really touch the masses through their work. For instance, if you look at artists that have Satabisha, Robin Williams had Moon and Satabishak. Kurt Cobain, I don't remember if he had like Moon. I don't think it was the Moon, but he also had some prominent Satabishak. Like a lot of really popular people throughout the ages, basically popular artists and writers and all these things. Also, like I said, it shows up often in the horoscopes of people who are in health related fields. These people could be really they could really help to heal the masses, or they produce artwork that touches a lot of people, okay? And yeah, they could also, with Satabishak, they could be, again, quite popular because these nakshatras tend to socialize relatively easily, but at the same time, they have an aura of detachment about them, okay? And then with Chitra, this nakshatra is definitely the type that tends to stand out physically. And also, I have to say with Chitra, I mean, with these nakshatras, it's kind of complicated. It could go either way, but I think for most of you, this person is neither too skinny nor too big. I think for most of you, they're somewhere in the middle. I do think there is a slight tendency for this person to actually have more of a robust build rather than a slim build, because even though we have Saturn, we have all this Mars Leo energy, so this makes me think of a broad body. And also with Chitra, they tend to have a pretty robust body, okay? So it's an nakshatra, like you see, you know, has the yoni of the tiger, and I won't get into this theory here. Again, if you're interested, go and check out my astrology video, because I talked about Chitra in the video where I talk about the Mars ruled nakshatras. These nakshatras, they tend to have a sturdy physique, and also Chitra is known to be very conscious of their physical appearance. So they're the types that tend to really put some effort in the way that they look. They usually take some time to cultivate a sense of style. They oftentimes are interested in beauty physically, in things like shape and form. They could be interested in fashion design. They could be interested in photography and videography. So they tend to be very visual, basically. Okay. So yeah, this is pretty much what I have for you, pile number 1. I hope you have enjoyed this reading, and if you have, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, click on the notifications bell to see when I will upload a new video. And of course, feel free to comment in the comment section with feedback that you would like to share about this reading, how it resonated, what didn't resonate, what did. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts, and also if you liked this topic and you would like to see similar topics, again, comment in the comment section. Of course, if you are interested in a private reading, check out the video description, and I think also in the pinned comment I will put my email address there, so you can email me for a pricing list, reading options. I mention this all the time. I don't spam people, so if you're just curious to see a pricing list, you can email me. I'll send you the information you ask for. And aside from that, of course, I do have a members only section. You can search for membership or members only videos on my channel to see all the videos that I posted so far. So go ahead and check it out. Thank you to everyone who has already joined the membership section. It makes a significant difference for me and definitely encourages me to continue posting content. And yes, consider joining. Of course, you can also see the prices for each tier and the description for each tier if you click on the join button under any of my videos. And aside from that, of course, if you would like to support my channel further, you can do so by sharing this video with anyone that you know is interested in tarot. And you can also consider leaving a tip through the $ button under the video. Any amount is much appreciated. And then last but not least, of course, I have a astrology channel. Many of you already know me from there. It's called Astro-Martine, like I said, and I will be linking it in the video description. So I focus mainly on Vedic astrology there, and I also have a background starting in tropical. So I've been into astrology for more than 20 years now. And for more than 10 of those years, I've been into Vedic, and which means that I use the sidereal zodiac and the whole sign house system because I have found it to be very accurate. But on my channel, you will see tons of videos, over 350 videos actually, and I just recently posted one. And I have playlists on relationship-related astrology, natal astrology, psychological astrology. I have a lot of examples in my videos of famous people and their horoscopes. I have a playlist for the synastry relationship analyses for famous couples. I also have astro profiles where I go in depth into analyzing the horoscopes of famous people. So yeah, I have all kinds of videos, and I like to have a pragmatic approach where I use a lot of examples, and I also do a lot of my own research. So if you're curious about astrology, go ahead and check it out. Maybe subscribe to my astrology channel. Once again, it's called Astro-Martine, and I will be linking it in the video description. Go ahead and check it out. Maybe subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you at my next tarot reading. Bye! Welcome, pile number 2. This is your reading if you have chosen 35, A Long Way Home, and or this amethyst crystal. So this is going to be the card selection phase. I am going to add timestamps so you can skip directly to the interpretation. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2, the amethyst crystal. How can they recognize their future spouse? Okay, so we have 7 of Swords, we have the Emperor, we have the Hanged Man, the 8 of Swords, Page of Swords, and Page of Pentacles. Let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. How can they recognize their future spouse? Ooh. Okay. We have the Lovers, we have the Ace of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, we have the Judgment, we have the Hierophant, and we have the King of Pentacles. Let me get some oracle cards. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. How can they recognize their future spouse? Swan, Beauty, number 20. Okay, so I'm already thinking this person could have a strong moon energy, but I'm going to hold that thought. Let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. How can they recognize their future spouse? New beginnings with the baby. Yeah, this is giving me moon energy because, like, this is also kind of motherhood energy. But again, Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. How can they recognize their future spouse? Whoops, 2 of them fell out. Ooh, 3 of them fell out. Okay. We have 10, communication. We have love, number 3. So love makes sense with the Lovers coming out. Oh my gosh. 3 cards. I can't. And, oh no, we have 4 cards. Did you see that? They were like completely covered. This person is secretive because like they have a lot of cards up their sleeve. What can I say? Pile number 3. Sorry, pile number 2. Why did I say number 3? We have 36 messages of guidance, and we have 28 secrets. So we do have the number 1 represented twice, which is sun energy. This is number 9, which is Mars, message of guidance. Yeah, this is a message of guidance. And number 3, this is Jupiter energy. We have love, secrets, okay, communication. So this person is big on communication already. So we also have the number 8 represented, right? Or let me see. No, not the, well, kind of, like we have 28 here. So, but 28 is 2 plus 8. So that boils down to a number 1. But let's see what this card has to say. 35, a long way home. I'm going to read the description from the book. Journey, remembrances, experiences, passage. Look at this little elephant on his journey through the skies. He lives in a huge balloon and has his castle with him. Lights guide the way while he slowly passes over the horizon. How long is his journey and when will it end? Will he drop anchor again or continue his travels? This card reflects how we pass through our lives. During our pilgrimage, we collect memories strong enough to fill a castle and light enough to buoy our voyage. I don't know why I got weird goosebumps. That doesn't happen to me. This person, we have the Emperor. This person is the king of their castle. And I'm getting strong Cancerian energy from this reading because I feel like this person is someone who is very self-protective. And it's like there's someone who can feel at home easily in a lot of places. I don't know if anywhere, but in a lot of places, because for them, it's like home is where the heart is. So in the sense that they feel at home when they have people that they love or like things they love, or I don't know, like things they love, you know, like people, pets or whatever. Like as long as they have things to love, they feel at home. This is the vibe that I'm getting here. So I'm getting Cancerian vibes, but let me break it down. So we have 7 of Swords with the Lovers underneath. Please clarify the 7 of Swords. 6 of Cups. There's Venus energy with this person as well. Please clarify the Lovers. Page of Pentacles again. Okay. This person is strategic. So there's someone who thinks strategically. With the 6 of Cups, they're definitely motivated by emotions. Like there's someone who hides their feelings under a reasoning ability, you know, like maybe an analytical persona, maybe like a frown. But they're definitely someone who is very full of love. I mean, look at the Ace of Cups, look at the Lover. So this is someone who has like a strong capacity to be very affectionate, very supportive. And the Page of Pentacles, oh my God, you know what song I'm getting in my head? I don't even know who sang this. I don't think it was Neil Diamond. But I can hear it in my head right now, and I don't know who sang it. It was, I've been looking for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. You know, like this is this person. I've been looking for a heart of gold. Like this is a person who is looking for true love. Now, I know this maybe doesn't help you recognize them, but I think, see, one thing I can tell you is I am getting a vibe with this a long way home with the balloon, that maybe this is someone who has had to travel a lot in their lifetime. Maybe their parents moved them around a lot, and so they never really had like a strong sense of belonging. And so, and they really are looking for a deep, meaningful connection. This is what I'm getting. And also with the Emperor, with the Ace of Cups, there are definitely, so on the surface, you're not going to see that this person has the strong capacity for love that they have. They're someone who has learned to put on this facade of being in control, being, you know, rational, but underneath they have a very strong desire for love, for warmth. And with the Hangman and the 10 of Pentacles, again, please clarify the Hangman here. Oops. Page of Swords again. Please clarify the 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Swords. Wow. Okay. This person, okay, so what could be getting in their way, or maybe even in the way of this connection, is the fact that they tend to overthink. They tend to hesitate. They are definitely someone who has been used to over-rationalizing. And this is, again, this is the part where the psychologist part of me is going to kick in and say that usually people who are hyper-rational are people who were disappointed in emotions. Like they never, sometimes again, they never really have like secure attachment or something. And so they become hyper-rational as a way to make sense of the world and to feel in control of their surroundings. So this could be a person like this who is going to be reluctant to make a move, even though they deeply want a strong connection. On the surface, they could come across as like really detached. And this is another problem. The fact that maybe you won't even see that they like you until it's like too late. In some ways, I mean, this is your future spouse, so you are meant to be together. But of course, you still have free will. Nobody's forcing you to marry someone that you don't want. I mean, unfortunately, in some places, that's still a situation. But again, won't get into that. But the bottom line is you do have free will. So either way, this person, though, is kind of like the one who is on the trajectory to being your future spouse. This is what the reading is about. And then the 10 of Pentacles with the 10 of Swords. I think this person is very worried about their career, about something. So either they're kind of a workaholic or they are so focused on their career that it really drains their energy to the point where they will not have much left to focus on romance. So this could cause frustrations and delays into maybe pursuing this relationship. But this is also a helpful way to kind of recognize this person. Because again, look around and look at people who are married to their jobs. I wouldn't be surprised if this person has Anuradha placements, because Anuradha is the sign of the workaholics, if you ask me. But again, let me not digress. We have 8 of Swords and the Judgment in the past. So this person has felt trapped in the past. Let me clarify this. Please clarify the 8 of Swords. Oh my gosh, so many pages. Please clarify the Judgment. 3 of Cups. Now I'm getting that song by Queen. I want to break free. I want to break free. You know the one, this person, in the past, they were trapped. I think, not literal, I mean, hopefully not literally in a cage. For most of you, this is a person who has been trapped by limiting beliefs, so I feel like this is an explanation for why they're not married. So I don't think for most of you that this is someone who has been married before. I'm already getting like a strong vibe about this. I think this is a person who has felt trapped by, like fears, limiting beliefs, overthinking, again, like stuck in analysis paralysis, thinking themselves to death. And this has led to them feeling isolated. We have the 3 of Cups underneath the Judgment. I think this is the kind of person that on the surface, you know who I'm thinking about right now? I've actually just started watching that series on Netflix. Well, not started. I think, well, anyway, it's not that long. It only has 2 seasons. But that series on Netflix, A Century of Solitude. You know who this reminds me of? Aureliano Buendia. I mean, in his early days, I think before he got married to his first wife. I mean, his only wife, guys. He only had one, but he ended up having affairs after that. But before he got married, you know, he was like all in his studies and all serious and minding his own business, kind of like, and his parents were kind of like, hey, go out, date, have fun. Because his siblings were all like partying all the time, getting women pregnant, and he didn't seem to care. So this is the vibe that I'm getting. Obviously, that's an exaggeration. Oh, this is hopefully not going to turn into some kind of evil revolutionary. But this is the vibe, like someone who I think, you know, has, without maybe realizing, has kind of like stayed celibate for long periods of time just to stay safe, to feel safe, and has created kind of like these walls of their own making based on potential prejudice, based on you know, judgment of other people who are having too much good time. Like, they're, again, this really makes me feel like someone who has been really disappointed in life, really disappointed emotionally, and has just chosen willingly to focus on things like career and hobbies and just not focus on relationships. Okay. And then we have Page of Swords, and we have the Hierophant in the future. So obviously Hierophant, this is a person who is going to basically make an offer of marriage. Like, Hierophant is tradition. And this is also, I think, a person who is pretty traditionally minded in general. So I am getting some pretty strong Saturn energy from this person as well. I want to get clarifications again. Please clarify the Hierophant. Oh my gosh. The Lovers again. So this person is going to look at you like, where have you been my whole life? Okay. And this is the kind of person that is going to seem serious. So they're going to be very serious about you. That's another thing. So right off the bat, this is not going to be a person who's like funny business. Just like Aureliano in, you know, in A Century of Solitude. Is that how it's translated? Un ciel de soledad. I think that's the way it's said in Spanish, I think. But cien de soledad, right? Anyway. So the bottom line is kind of like that character. So again, if you watch that, this is the person who like will be waiting for you. Like, there will be like, you are the one, I want to marry you. And so this is not going to be a person who is going to make you feel like you have to second guess their intentions. They're going to be pretty clear. Okay, please clarify the Page of Swords. And so they're going to communicate clearly. Eight of Cups, okay? Yeah, they're going to communicate clearly, and they're going to go after what they want in a very kind of mature and serious way, at least on the surface, but kind of like going crazy with interest. And Page of Pentacles and King of Pentacles. So in the future, this is definitely a person who is meant to become really successful financially. And also for you, this is a person who's going to seem like a gift, really, with the Page of Pentacles. So definitely a happy situation. And hello, with the Swan here, Swan's made for life. So this is a person who's going to be really loyal. Hold on. This card is not even on camera. I just realized. Doesn't matter. Okay. Let me get some astro cards. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. Who is this person? I mean, how can they recognize their future spouse? Okay. Okay, so this makes a lot of sense. Opposition, Pluto, hello. This is a person who's really intense, really mysterious, really secretive, brooding, kind of keeps to themselves. I'm also getting Bharani energy. I wonder if that's going to come through in the nakshatras. And Gemini is also someone who's very good at communication, very smart, very clear, very kind of rational, concise. They are capable of socializing as well with the Gemini, but I really am getting this very formal vibe from this person. So I'm going to see what else is going to come through with the astro notes later. But they're definitely good at communicating, and there is a certain degree of youthfulness about them. We also had the Six of Cups coming through. So this person also has a kind of like youthful curiosity, and, you know, they like to keep an open mind, and they're like Aureliano when he was young. I'm going to shut up, okay? Now everybody, I feel like Netflix should pay me for commercials. Anyway, Venus, okay, so Venus is Definitely showing that this person, again, it's confirming that Lovers that came through twice. I lost track of how many cards came out twice for you, pile number 2. You happen to have the number 2 on your pile, and you also have cards that came out 2 by 2s, okay? Because, like, you had the Lovers coming out twice, you had Page of Swords and Page of Pentacles coming out twice, if I'm not mistaken. Which other cards? I don't know. I lost track, like I said, but you had a bunch of them. Either way, we have the Lovers definitely came out twice, and we also have that 6 of Cups. So the number 6 is ruled by Venus in numerology. So this definitely is a confirmation that this person has a very loving nature. And with the Venus, I think there's also a very high possibility that this person is going to be above average attractive, because Venus is very pleasant. It's the planet of beauty. You know, she's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it. That kind of thing. Traditionally attractive features, okay? Even if this person is not the most conventionally attractive, they are attractive because they are charismatic, they're charming, they attract people with their way of being, their vibe. But I think for most of you, this is a person who has attractive features. And opposition, this is interesting because we have opposition. Pluto and Venus are actually ruling opposite signs. One of them is ruling Taurus, the other one is ruling Scorpio. Well, Taurus/Libra, Aries/Scorpio. So this person could have placements maybe in these signs, or they could have these like dichotomous energies, irrespective of what their horoscope actually looks like. They have these dichotomous energies of like on the one hand being lovey-dovey and like full of a love and affection, and having the ability to be caring and loyal, and also enjoy the finer things in life as well with that Venus. But with Pluto, they can be very intense, very obsessive, very brooding, you know, very much eyes on the prize. Like once they get their eyes set on something, they want to achieve it no matter what. They also can be a little bit vengeful. Again, I'm not going to say like, you know, who that's going to be like, but you already know what I'm going to say. Yeah, okay, I'm going to shut up. So let me get the Astro dice. Let's see what else is going to come through. Okay, that one, oh my god, I cannot, I don't know if I can you see that? That's my mouse pad, by the way. So I'm going to translate it so you can see that I'm not turning it. It fell directly on Scorpio, okay? So Scorpio is coming through very strongly, okay? So let me get these other two. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. How can they recognize their future spouse? Okay, Moon, such a strong confirmation. Okay, and the number 5. All right, so this is Leo, can be connected to the 5th house. It's the heart chakra. Maybe the number 5 is also prominent in their makeup. Maybe they're born on a date that boils down to the number 5, like the 14th, the 23rd, the 5th. I don't know if there's any other option. Maybe they also have number 5 in their numerology, like the life path number, the destiny number. But again, these could be hints that this is the right person, or of course they could have placements in Scorpio, in Cancer, in Libra, why did I say Aquarius? I don't know. I still haven't taken the handwritten astrological notes, so I'm gonna hold that thought. But yeah, this is like very strong confirmations, because I mean, I did say the moon from the beginning. The moon was like the first energy that I picked up, and the Scorpio and the Leo energy with the number 5, because again, you can look at number 5 as also mercurial energy, because in numerology it's ruled by Mercury, but you can also see it as the 5th house, which corresponds to Leo, corresponds to the sun energy. So either way, with number 5 and the 5th house, this person could be someone who is involved in working with kids. This could be a person who is a teacher. This could be a person who is working in something related to an educational system, so college, master's degree. Maybe this is someone that you are gonna, you know, meet during university. That could also be a thing. And with the number 5, they could also be very strong in their ability to express themselves. So they could look, at least on the surface, as someone who's really comfortable in their skin, and they're just very kind of like, this is who I am, take it or leave it sort of an attitude. And they can also be sometimes fun and dramatic as well with the number 5, because it is connected to dramatic arts, just like Leo. The moon and the Scorpio, though, definitely points to this person having a deeper, brooding, emotional side. And like I said, I definitely feel like this person has a deep well of emotions and they are looking for like a very strong, intimate connection. This is what I see. And let's see what else. Let me get the astro notes. Yes. Let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. How can pile number 2 recognize their future spouse? Let's see. Okay. Okay. No, I'm not convinced about that one. So I'm just going to take what fell out. Let's see. K2. Okay, this is the co-ruler of Scorpio, so it makes sense that it came through. This person could be like borderline psychic in some ways, very sensitive. Oh my gosh, Scorpio. Every time I say Scorpio like that, I think of that song Army of Lovers. I mean, Army of Lovers was the band, and they had a song where they said Scorpio is rising high, my army of lovers. I think the song was called Army of Lovers by the band Army of Lovers. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, that band is fun. My favorite song of theirs was Obsession and Crucified. Actually, both of them. I like both of them. Anyway, Venus. Oh my gosh. Such strong confirmations. Repeated themes. It's like repeating the same things over and over. Let's see. Aries. Very strong Mars energy, because Aries, again, it's ruled by Mars just like Scorpio is, so there is a strong Mars energy with this person as well. And Libra. I cannot. Okay, very strong Venus energy with this person as well. Uttara Ashadha falling in Sagittarius and Capricorn ruled by the Sun, so there's the Sun energy that I was picking up as well. Purva Bhadrapada, this is the Jupiter energy. Okay, I don't know if I mentioned it specifically, but I did think about it when I look at it at that balloon. I mentioned travel. I was thinking Jupiter because that's Jupiter's rule to traveling. Anyway, Swati, which is falling in Libra. Okay, so Libra, there's that Libra energy that came through. Mrigashira, which is ruled by Mars, falling in Taurus and Gemini, Venus and Mercury. Gemini also came through before. Chitra, which is falling in Virgo and Libra, ruled by Mars. So there's a lot of Mars with this person, I have to say. And Jyeshta, okay, falling in Scorpio, ruled by Mercury. I did say Anuradha, I was close enough because Anuradha is just before Jyeshta. However, okay, Jyeshta also explains not just the Scorpio that came through and the Mercury, but the fact that this person is someone who is meant to be a self-made person. It makes sense why, like, the rest of the spread was kind of like, sorry, my voice is acting up or something. There's something going on with my vocal cords. I will be getting a checkup soon. But it makes sense why the rest of the spread, like, it started out kind of meh, or like in intensity, and then it ended up with the King of Pentacles, in the sense that this is definitely a person who is going to be heading towards high levels of success. But also some other ways that you can recognize this person with Jyeshta coming through. This is a person who could have sleep problems. They could be complaining about insomnia, or maybe there's someone who you hear about or you know that they just don't sleep much, okay? Jyeshta can also be a person who is really superstitious. If you start to get to know them, once you get to know them, you might find that they're actually way more superstitious than they let on. Again, I'm getting that song in my head by Desiree from the 90s. I never walk under ladders. I keep a rabbit's tail. I'll take you up on a dare anytime, anywhere. I don't remember the rest of it. Life, oh life, oh life. That was the song. Anyway, I grew up in the 90s, so all of those things that were on TV nonstop were kind of like branded in my brain for eternity. I used to really like that song, though. It's optimistic, but this is Jyeshta energy. I wonder if the singer actually has Jyeshta placements, or whoever wrote that song. But one way you could recognize them, speaking of superstition, they could wear something that has some kind of a spiritual meaning, or you can just notice them wearing something, maybe without them saying anything about what it's about. Something like an amulet, a necklace, a lucky coin, something, a lucky rock that they carry in their pocket. So Jeshtas are known to have like an amulet. So that could be another way that you recognize them. And also with Jeshta, they could just be probably among the most successful in their family, if not the most successful member of their family. All right. Because Jeshta is the type that is the self-made individual. When they're born into a wealthy family, they become even more successful and more wealthy than the family of origin. When they're born into a poor family, they have oftentimes a rags to riches trajectory, all right? So, and they tend to be obsessive with their work because of that. Like, for instance, Mozart was Jeshta, and obviously he burned himself to the ground, ended up dying really young, but he was brilliant and a genius. No, not all Jeshtas are like that, but many of them, they tend to be really obsessive with their interests, and they really throw themselves into their work, okay? And they also tend to, you know, be, according to traditional text, equally passionate about relationships. Some people might say they also have a tendency towards a wandering eye, especially the males. But anyway, and also with Jeshta, like if the moon is in Jeshta, for instance, and even with the Lagna to some extent, these people tend to have, especially the women, a very slim build. Like they are not going to be voluptuous usually with moon in Jeshta. They're going to be slightly androgynous looking. I've seen this like oftentimes. When it comes to men with, I don't know, I wouldn't be able to say if the same is true for men, to be honest. I would have to do more research. But because Jeshta is ruled by Mercury, there's this touch of like slight androgyny about them and a youthfulness at the same time. And it also, they have this vibe like they're light on their feet, like they're always walking, they're doing something, they're agitated and all this stuff, right? So they don't like to sit still for very long. Chitra, on the other hand, tends to point towards a more robust build. Chitra is known to be connected to visual arts and oftentimes is producing people who are very interested in fashion, in anything to do with physical appearance to some extent as well. Things like visual arts, like I said, so fashion design, photography, videography. So this could be a person who's really interested in photography, for instance. And also physically, they tend to have a robust build. Like I said, with Chitra, it tends to be mostly towards like a broad body frame, irrespective of gender, because it's ruled by the tiger Yoni, so it tends to be pretty strong. And also Mrigashira falling in Taurus and Gemini. This is a person who likes investigations. They can be someone who's very, very curious. They like to get down to the bottom of things. They have a very strong intuition or gut feeling. They may really like detective stories and detective novels and stuff. So things like escape room and things like that, I wouldn't be surprised if they would be interested in that. They could also really like nature, forests especially, and you might notice that they like animals or animals are drawn to them. And they tend to have a very good rational mind. They like debates. They like to, sometimes they can also be a little bit argumentative with Mrigashira, but they tend to be very rational. They like debates. They like investigations, like I said, so research. So they tend to be pretty rational. And then Uttarashadha, this tends to be a more spiritual nakshatra in many ways. And also, oh my God, this is a very strong confirmation of what I said about this person. For many of you, not having had too many relationships or having been on some kind of a vow of celibacy or something, because Uttarashadha is the only one of the 27 nakshatras that does not have a yoni counterpart. So all the other nakshatras, they come in male, female of a certain animal, right? So Chitra, for instance, and Vishaka, they're both tiger, right? So Chitra is male tiger, Vishaka is female tiger, and so on and so forth for all of them. But Uttarashadha is only signified by the male mongoose, and there's no female mongoose. And I haven't actually read this from traditional interpretations, but I definitely am convinced that this is why the sages kind of associated, left this nakshatra behind in a way, quote unquote, without a partner. because this nakshatra represents this priestly caste, this priestly nakshatra that is meant to focus on the development of loftier ideals like spirituality, you know, the purification of the physical body. So like ascending a higher level of, you know, understanding of the world and all these things. So in a way, it does create people who have like a frustration in finding a decent partner. I've seen this a lot. And even once they get in relationships, unfortunately, oftentimes they have to keep switching until they find the right person. So it's not easy for them to find a decent partner. And Purva Bhadrapada, last but not least, this is a nakshatra that has a touch of that dark intensity. So this really does make sense why I picked up a lot of intensity. I mean, we also have Scorpio and stuff. But this nakshatra is the type that, again, can be very two-faced. It is associated to the two-faced man. That's actually a symbol for this nakshatra. And it is connected to spiritual purification. So oftentimes people who have this nakshatra go through very painful experiences in life, which on the one hand makes them tough and also gives them kind of a tendency towards being angry sometimes if they're not particularly spiritually evolved. But on the other hand, it also really rids them of ego in many ways. And so these people, though, they do have the ability to have this facade that they put on in public, and then in private, they could be a completely different person. Now, this doesn't automatically mean that it's a negative. It can be a negative in some situations. All I'm going to say is Michael Jackson had this in his moon. But together with a lot of like members in, you know, mafia and all kinds of like criminal activities, gangs and all this stuff. Again, I won't get into this nakshatra in depth because if you're curious, again, go to my astrological channel, my astrology channel called Astro Martine. I will be linking it in the description. And I actually have a video called Nakshatras of Jupiter, or Jupiter's Nakshatras, where I talk about Purva Bhadrapada in depth. So if you're curious, go ahead and check it out. I have a bunch of those actually for multiple nakshatras. I also talked about Mrigashira and Chitra in the Mars-ruled nakshatras. I still have to finish that series, by the way. Anyway, yeah, if you're curious, you can go look into that. But the positive side of this nakshatra is they tend to be very wise. They tend to be the types that go after what they want no matter what. So it's, you know, again, this could be both a positive and a negative. For most of them, it's not like they're going to resort to anything illegal, but they can be very resourceful in finding a way to get what they want. And oftentimes they can be even kind of seen like magicians because people will look at them and like, how the hell did you do that? You know, and a lot of them can be very creative and they can be end up over time reaching a high level of spiritual development because of the burning of the ego and all of the different painful experiences that they go through in life. However, on the surface, you could see this as someone who has a dark brooding energy, a chip on their shoulder. Also, Purva Bhadrapada has a reputation of being interested in things like dark arts, you know, witchcraft and all this stuff, Wicca. So again, if you see someone who might be interested in these things, who shows hints that they're interested in these things, this could be the kind of person that you're dealing with, right? Okay. Aside from all of these, like, I mean, this is it, pretty much. This is all I wanted to say. And I thought this was a very, how should I put it? Like, very specific, very on point reading, lots of repetitions. Like, Spirit is giving you very specific, you know, specific messages here. And so I hope you have found this useful, pile number 2. I definitely had a lot of fun with it. I hope you liked it. And if you have, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, click on the notifications bell to see when I will post a new video. And also, if you're interested in a private reading, check out the video description. I will leave my email address. You can contact me and ask me for a pricing list or any information you're curious about. I mention this all the time. I don't spam people, so feel free to send me an email. I'm just going to reply with the information you ask for. Aside from that, I also have a members only section, as you might notice. And if you want to find out more about it, you can click on the join button. You can see the prices in your local currency. Thank you very much to everyone who has already joined the membership section. It does make a great deal of difference for me. So I am very grateful, and it does encourage me to keep posting. So yes, consider checking out the membership section. Again, you can search for members or member as a keyword on my channel, and you can see all of the videos that I posted on different tiers of membership section in there. Aside from that, of course, I have an astrology channel, and I have mentioned it. I will be linking it in the video description. And if you're curious about astrology, go ahead and check it out. I have more than 20 years of experience in reading horoscopes and more than 10 in reading Vedic astrology, which is now my preferred system. On my channel, I have more than 350 videos. I started that channel in 2016. And I have playlists based on categories. I did loads of videos on how to read the spouse archetype in your natal horoscope. I also like to use a lot of examples of famous people's horoscopes to give practical descriptions of how astrology plays out in people's lives. I do a lot of my own research based on patterns that I pick up after reading a lot of horoscopes. And again, I like to use examples to illustrate those patterns. I have a playlist, for instance, on the relationships of famous couples. I have a playlist on the astrological profiles of famous people where I go in depth and analyze people's horoscopes, a whole bunch of stuff. And so I mainly focus on Vedic astrology, but also with some tropical insights that I have picked up over the time that I did tropical. And I also use my insights from other metaphysical sources of knowledge like numerology, Chinese astrology, Batsa, Ziwei Doshu, the Mayan zodiac, and a bunch of other metaphysical sources. So if you're curious about it, go ahead and check it out. Once again, my channel is called Astro Martine, and I will be linking it in the video description. Maybe subscribe to it. I would greatly appreciate it. And also, don't forget to subscribe. Not subscribe, but to comment in the comment section with any feedback you would like to give, ideas for future topics you would like to cover, how much you like this topic, if you would like to see maybe this topic again at some point in the future, or if you would have liked me to do something different. So please comment in the comment section. I will take it into account. Aside from that, of course, if you would like to support my channel further, you can also just share this video with as many people that you know are interested in tarot. And you could also consider leaving a tip with the $ button under the video. Any amount is much appreciated. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you at my next tarot reading. Bye! Welcome, pile number 3. This is the reading you have chosen. If you chose this card over here, number 7, Pure Nature, and or this fluorite crystal. All right. So this is going to be the card selection phase. I'm going to add timestamps so you can skip directly to the interpretation if you don't want to sit through it. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. How can they recognize their future spouse? Okay, nice. So we have 8 of Cups, the Lovers, Queen of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, 8 of Wands, Ace of Cups. Let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. How can they recognize their future spouse? Okay, these two came out together. Nice. So we have Knight of Wands, we have the 9 of Swords, and the King of Pentacles came out together. We have the Sun, we have 5 of Cups, we have 6 of Wands, and 7 of Swords. Let's see some oracle cards. Spirit, please tell me how can pile number 3 recognize their future spouse? Ancestors. This is looking promising. Spirit, how can pile number 3 recognize? Okay, duality number 11. So that's moon energy. That's also spiritual energy. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. How can they recognize their future spouse? Honeybee reciprocity number 6. So number 6 is ruled by Venus. And we do have the Lover. So maybe this person has a strong Venus energy. It also gives me Bharani vibes. But again, I'm going to hold that thought until maybe something is going to show up in the astrological notes. Okay. And now let me read the description for this card. 7, pure nature. I'm already getting a song in my head, but I'm going to hold it until I read the description. Grace, blooming youth, freshness. This young girl is flourishing as she develops into a woman. She loves her body and is aware of her unique beauty. Just as this girl does, cherish the beauty nature has given you. See the softness and grace, and keep the secrets of youth in your heart. The red peony represents respect and honor, ideals that must be recognized in ourselves before we can genuinely share our true nature with others. So this person is giving me Bharani vibes, but I'm curious. I'm gonna hold it until I see the astrological notes. But the song that I was getting in my head was that song Pure Morning by Placebo. Maybe some of you know it. The lyrics were like, a friend in need's a friend indeed. A friend with weed is better. A friend with breasts and all the rest. A friend who's dressed in leather. Pure morning. I don't remember what it was like. But that song kind of like weirdly encapsulates Bharani's kind of potentially hidden sensuous side, and at the same time moralistic nature, if that makes sense. Maybe I've gone too deep too soon, so I'm gonna hold that thought for now. Let me break down the cards. Okay, so we have 8 of Cups, we have Knight of Wands. I want to clarify, please clarify the 8 of Cups. Oh, please clarify the Knight of Wands. Ace of Pentacles. So this is a person who at this moment is moving towards a time of recognition in their lives. It looks like they are moving close to reaping the rewards of their efforts, you know, like reaping what they have sown, basically, but in a positive sense. Like they're moving in, like they're in an upward move, basically, in life. Either way, they're getting more recognition, and they're also moving away from some darker chapter in their lives, like a heavier emotional chapter. We have the Lovers, clarified by King of Pentacles and 9 of Swords. Please clarify the Lovers. 7 of Cups. There's a lot of number 7, and I'm already picking up maybe some K2 energy. Because, like, we have 7, pure nature, 7 of Cups. Anyway, please clarify the 9 of Swords. 6 of Cups, Venus, and K2 as well. Because number 6 is coming through a lot. Okay, so this person... This is really specific, but this person has suffered through some kind of loss of innocence. But ironically or not ironically, it has made them a better person. It has made them into someone who is actually very clear with respect to what real love looks like. Very discerning. Could also be Libra placements with this person. So they're definitely someone who is motivated by affection, by love, by romance. And they have a very loving nature. And they're also someone who wants to make the most of the opportunities that are around them. They are also very driven to succeed in a passion project or a career that they're very, you know, very much in love with. Like, it's not something they do for money. It's something they really want to succeed in because they really believe in it. And then we have the Queen of Cups and the Sun in opposition. Okay, this is not going to sound great, but sometimes this person's ego can get the best of them. Like, it could be that their ego blinds them sometimes and doesn't allow them to make the best decisions for themselves. And it could be that this person is just a little bit too ambitious sometimes. They could turn impatient and offend maybe figures of authority because they don't really listen as much as they should to figures of authority, to authority figures. Maybe they just want to do their own thing as much as possible. Please clarify the Queen of Cups, Spirit. Wow, there's a lot of number 7s coming through. Yeah. This is a person who, I have to say, like, this is going to come through as dark, but look at this. We have ancestors, okay? We have ancestors. We have duality with the number 11. Reciprocity, honeybee. I really feel like this is someone who has some significant childhood trauma, because the Queen of Cups is someone who is actually very mature when it comes to understanding human nature, understanding psychology and all those things, but somehow it seems to be working against them. So this makes me think that this person has all kinds of defenses and all kinds of like protective layers that they have developed in time as a way to justify the things that may have happened in the past. I really think this person comes from like a complicated family situation. And it could be that they even seem defensive, you know, like they don't really care about romance or love or anything, but that's not their true nature because we have the Lovers in the support position. However, on the surface, this person can come across as even a little bit prideful and kind of like a know-it-all sometimes, but it is because they have learned to really cover their own needs, or because they have learned that, you know, maybe nobody cares about their needs or whatever, depending on the scenario of abusive childhood that this person came from, or unfulfilling childhood. Okay, let's not go to abusive necessarily. We have the Wheel and the 5 of Cups. So I think this person in the past has had some regrets. I want to please clarify the 5 of Cups, Spirit. Yeah, so this person has already kind of gathered some regrets due to the fact that they were too hesitant or hyper analytical about things. But on the plus side, it does look like, again, their life has been slowly changing for the better over the recent past. And then there's also the fact that this person is now very, very, I mean, this explains a lot with respect to like 5 of Cups in the past and 7 of Cups in the present, in the support. It really shows that this person wants to make up for lost time now. Like, they really want to make sure that they never miss another opportunity. So maybe this was actually some kind of a love situation. Doesn't have to be, but somehow they realized that they lost out on some opportunities because they were overthinking, because they were too defensive, they were hyper analytical, and they should have just gone with the flow. And then we have 8 of Wands and the 6 of Wands. So this is very positive in the sense that This is a person who is moving swiftly, and they're going to continue to move swiftly. So like, not only are they going on an upward climb when it comes to their overall trajectory in life, but also when it comes to this relationship, this is going to happen pretty quickly. I feel like for many of you, this is going to happen faster than you think. Because the Eight of Wands shows an energy of swiftness, like things are going to move quickly. Now, it could be that things are going to happen fast from the moment that you come across this reading, or it could just be that once you start to get to know this person, things are going to evolve really quickly. Like you're going to become a serious couple very quickly. Yeah, they're going to move towards you, and they're going to make their intentions known. And all of this, I think, to a large extent, motivated by this, fear, like FOMO and YOLO, And we have this Eight of Wands with Six of Wands underneath, which makes me think, on the one hand, that again, this person is heading towards success, but at the same time, they're someone who's never really going to rest on their laurels. No matter how much they achieve, they always want to achieve more. And the Ace of Cups and the Seven of Swords, this shows that this person, again, so this person is someone who is ultimately someone who can balance their emotional nature and their rational mind. So horoscope wise, I wouldn't be surprised if this is someone who has a lot of horoscope wise, someone who has a lot of air and someone who has a lot of water at the same time in their horoscope, because they have the ability to really understand human nature and how they function, and they're going to be able to balance out emotions and strategy. I also think this is a person that needs a little bit of encouragement, even though they're going to be determined to go after you and all that. It wouldn't hurt you, like, even if they seem super confident, it wouldn't hurt if you seemed friendly and approachable, because this is a person who has more hurt and more doubt than they let on the surface. And so it could be that, you being more open, more friendly towards them is going to precipitate how comfortable they feel, how easy they can trust you, and also how fast the relationship is going to develop. So this is one thing that I see. But overall, I see that this relationship is going to be very level-headed between the two of you, based on a great deal of love with that Ace of Cups, and also somehow strategic for both of you. Like, you're going to be able to make decisions, good decisions together, and clear-minded decisions together, to a large extent, because this person is someone who's really self-aware and someone who's really wise. Okay, I'm going to get the Astro notes, because this is really a lot of contradicting energy, I feel. Please clarify the pile number 3. Clarify. Drop that, Spirit. Please tell me about pile number 3, Spirit. How can they recognize their future spouse? Okay, so this explains a lot. This person is very closed off. Okay, very intense. 8th house, Scorpio, so repeated Scorpio energy. Mars, which is also the co-ruler of Scorpio, together with Ketu in Vedic astrology. Capricorn, the boss. This explains a lot, because this person is very focused on achieving something as well. So it seems like there's someone who's really serious. And the 1st house, self and identity. See, I was going to say this with the star, but this person could be someone who has a certain degree of fame, at least within their circle, maybe at work, because the 1st house shows that people recognize them. And also with that star, it really seems to confirm that. So this could be someone who's like easily recognized, easily stands out, people know them. Or they could be heading towards that level of fame, because again, I got this as a present situation with the star. So I think this person is like heading towards a greater level of recognition right now. And also the first house shows that their physique really stands out. Their body stands out. They have a strong presence. It could be that they're, well, it could be that they are also attractive. Although so far, I have to say, I'm not like especially getting messages that show, wow, this person is drop dead gorgeous. But I am definitely getting a strong presence, someone who stands out, potentially a strong physique, like with the Mars coming through the first house. There's someone who probably takes care of their body or likes to stay physically active, especially with that Eight of Wands as well. This could be someone who really likes to be on the move, and they really have this aura of someone who does not like to sit still a lot. Maybe they even travel when it comes to their profession a lot. Maybe they drive around a lot. Eighth house, there is a possibility that this person comes from either comes from a different country, or they somehow grew up with a different mother tongue, okay, than the one that they're speaking. So they learned, their mother tongue was different than the one that they're speaking right now, and also potentially different than your mother tongue as well. So they could be coming from a different culture where a foreign language is spoken. They could also be a person who works in something related to foreign languages, like a foreign language teacher. Eighth house can also show that this is someone that you are going to meet through their family of origin. And this could also be someone who works in finances, insurance. So these are eighth house related areas, things that have to do with managing other people's money. That's eighth house. This could also be a person who's like doing research, who is into psychotherapy, but either way, they come across as someone who's pretty intense and serious and brooding in some ways, and physically pretty strong, like I said. And also with Capricorn, there is a certain amount of maturity about this person, but I would have to hold that thought and see if there are other indicators of that in the astrological notes that I'm about to take out. And also with Mars, I mean, maybe they're quite sporty is what I can say. And they could be into the occult as well with that eighth house. So in the occult, technically, even tarot and astrology, according to many people, are into the occult. So that could be a thing. Maybe they're interested in tarot, astrology, witchcraft, Wicca, stuff like that. So this is pretty much what I see actually from, well, another thing that I can see with the Saturn-Mars energy is this person most likely, like I said, they're going to have a good amount of muscle mass, and also their bone structure could stand out. So Capricorn can have a physique that comes across as pretty sharp and serious as well. So they could have like really sculpted cheekbones and a prominent nose, an aquiline nose. So something about their appearance can be like really dignified, really stern looking. But again, I'm curious to see what else is going to come through with the Astro notes. So let me get the Astro dice. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. How can they recognize their future spouse? Oh my gosh. Scorpio again. Very strong Scorpio energy with this one. We also have Neptune, which is the tropical ruler of Pisces, so a lot of water. And we also have the number 9, which could be associated, again, to the Mars energy, because in numerology, the number 9 is ruled by Mars. So I see that as a confirmation of Mars, but then it could also be the 9th house, which is corresponding to Sagittarius, and it's connected to higher education, travel. I did mention travel with this person. So they could be someone who travels a lot, likes to travel, or again, they could be coming from a different culture or just coming from a distance, okay? And the 9th house can also deal with higher education, with academia, publishing, reading, writing, obviously. Any travel-related profession could also be religion and beliefs and philosophy and things like that. So maybe these are interests that this person is going to have. Also, you could be meeting this person close to your place of birth with the first house, or they could introduce themselves to you, or someone is going to introduce them to you. But usually with the first house, I mean, in astrology at least, it represents the place of birth. So that's like your birth town. Ideally, that's like the closest. Second best would be like your home country if you're living in a different country than the one you were born. So that could be where you meet this person. Okay, let me get some astro notes. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. How can they recognize their future spouse? How can pile number 3 recognize their future spouse? Okay, I think that's enough. So let's see. The moon. So we have like all the water signs represented here. I'm not surprised with all the cups going on, the lovers, the ace of cups and all that. This person has a lot of emotions, a lot of feels. Ooh, we also have Saturn again. Okay. So, by the way, with all the Saturn coming through, this person could be older than you. We also have Pisces again. We also had Neptune, the ruler of Pisces. We have Scorpio again. Again, this is the 3rd time. Holy moly, this person has intense Scorpio views, energies. Oh, we also have Venus. Yes, she's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it. So this person could be above average attractive as well, or at least they have social graces. We have Kritika Nakshatra falling in Aries and Taurus, ruled by the sun. We have Revati falling in Pisces, ruled by Mercury. So that is a travel-related nakshatra. Purva Bhadrapada falling in Aquarius and Pisces, ruled by Jupiter. Uttarashadha falling in Sagittarius and Capricorn, ruled by the sun. Ashwini falling in Aries, ruled by Ketu. Okay, so let me unpack. Did anything else fall out? No. All right. So I can understand why this person's energy comes through as like extremely intense. And I have to say, among the 3 readings, this is probably the one that has the most intense energy. Because not only do you have Purva Bhadrapada, which is known to be intense. I mean, this nakshatra is sometimes symbolized by a pillar of fire. It's connected to purification of karma through, you know, a lot of painful experiences. And it also is connected to funerals, to death, to occultism. So we have the 8th house, we have Purva Bhadrapada. This person definitely has some kind of a, you know what song I'm getting in my head? Hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. I don't know who sang that. Lou Reed, maybe? I'm getting flashbacks from my youth. I wasn't alive when the song, or was I? I don't remember. I don't know. Like, anyway, I was born in 89, so I don't know if I was alive when that song came out, but I used to hear it when I was growing up, and yeah, that's the vibe that I'm getting here with this person. Not necessarily that they are wild, because I don't actually see that. I see this person is pretty serious with that Saturn energy coming through repeatedly. I do think they might even be, you know, tending a little bit towards workaholism, or just someone who works really hard. There's someone who is used to not getting things for free, you know, someone who is used to like working hard for everything that they want. And with Purva Bhadrapada, as I was saying, this person could be drawn to things that are hidden, that are occult, that are kind of dark sometimes. And Purva Bhadrapada is also sometimes symbolized by the two-faced man. So this person could be someone who keeps a very, you know, a specific facade for the outside world, but deep down they're a totally different person. Like, they keep like a mask for the rest of the world. But again, it's not automatically a negative thing, because a lot of people, when I say this, they're like, oh my God. It's not automatically a negative thing. It could just be that this person has sides to them that they don't feel comfortable. Like, I don't know, maybe they're interested in tarot, but they don't feel comfortable talking about this to the world around them. So they're used to kind of hiding in plain sight in some ways. This could be a thing. And also with a lot of Scorpio, I mean, Scorpio came through 3 times. This person is brooding AF. So they could have this really kind of, I have to say, pretty intense aura about them, okay? And even if they are very good at putting on a facade, I think you can sort of tell that there is someone who's pretty serious and intense. And with Kritika, again, they could be someone who's potentially sharp-tongued. Kritika, especially among men, tends to create men that are very attractive to women. And I have to mention this, I don't like saying it, but sometimes Kritika does find themselves stuck in love triangles. So I'm not saying that this is going to be the case with this, definitely not, because I see a lot of Saturn, so I see this person is really serious. But Kritika can also, again, in its own way, be sort of intense when every once in a while, at least, it's not as intense as Purva Bhadrapada or Scorpio, but it can be really intense, especially when it gets pissed off. And they can have a very strong presence. So this explains the first house. So this could be the kind of person that, when they walk into a room, irrespective of what they look like, whether they're, well put together, whether they're conventionally attractive or not, people are just going to notice them. So they will have an aura about them. And they also will have a vibe that seems like really strong and protective. Even if they don't mean to be protective or take care of other people, they will have this vibe about them. Like people are going to come to them for advice and want to lean on them in situations of crisis. And also facially, they can have almond-shaped eyes and a pretty wide face usually. Also prominent cheekbones. And also their eyes can be pretty intense with all this Scorpio and all this Purva Bhadrapada. I mean, their eyes, their stare, not their stare necessarily, because like makes it sound like this person is a creep. But their eyes, like there's something about them, they'll have like a little sparkle in their eyes. They will seem pretty intense and alert and awake, basically, with all this Purva Bhadrapada. Revati confirms the fact that this person may be used to traveling or likes to travel a lot. Usually Revati is very lucky when it comes to travels, and they tend to like traveling. And their eyes could really stand out with Revati Nakshatra. A lot of very good-looking people, especially people who are known for their eyes, have Revati placements, especially in the parts of the horoscope that are connected to facial features. So Rihanna, for instance, has ascendant in Revati. Angelina Jolie has Moon, Mars, and Jupiter in Revati. Who else? Tom Hiddleston, as far as I remember, also has Moon in Revati. He also has these like big, pretty blue eyes. But a lot of, famous people, I can't think of more off the top of my head, but a lot of famous people, I think Jared Leto also has some Revati, but I'm not sure. Oh, Jared Leto actually also has Ashwini placements, and you also have Ashwini. Now, I don't know if Jared Leto is the best example, because I know he hasn't had a good reputation in recent history. But, I mean, you can't deny the fact that he's not a bad-looking guy, okay? But yes, Ashwinis, for instance, they tend to have definitely prominent cheekbones, prominent bone structure, usually an elongated face shape, tend to have a nice smile. And especially if this is a man, I have to say, pile number 3, this is probably the most masculine, typically masculine looking man. But, don't tell the others because they might feel offended. I think this is this is going to come across on the surface as a typical man, pretty masculine, either through their vibe or their physical appearance. But they could also have some features that are pretty attractive, all right? And also physique-wise, this person most likely will have a broad frame, okay? So I don't see them being like tiny or dainty. And Uttarashadha and Kritika, both of these are ruled by the sun. And so all of these, even Ashwini actually, and Purva Bhadrapada to some extent, they tend to show a prominent jawline. So this person can have a prominent jawline, especially a squarish face or a wide face at least. And their face is going to stand out somehow. Okay, this is pretty much, also with Uttarashadha, this is a person who also has a spiritual side. Also with Purva Bhadrapada, because Purva Bhadrapada, I don't remember about Uttarashadha exactly, but Purva Bhadrapada is a Brahmin caste, which means they are a priestly caste. Actually, Kritika as well. So this person, you know, they do have a spiritual side, even if on the surface they come across as a very, I don't know, down to earth, maybe pragmatic, no nonsense sort of person. They have a hidden spiritual side. All right. So this is pretty much, oh, there's one more thing. I keep feeling like I keep saying like, okay, this is it. This is all I have to say, but then another idea pops up with Ashwini, okay? I did mention Ketu as well. So Ketu did come through with ancestors. Ashwini is a pioneering nakshatra. So this is a person who kind of knows what they want. They go after it and they're not wishy-washy. Okay, so, and also Ashwini tends to be kind of restless as well. They like to be on the move. They like to stay physically active. And they also have a very strong capacity for work as well. Okay, this is it. All right, so I have finished now. This is what I wanted to say, pile number 3. I hope you have enjoyed this. I definitely have very strong repeated messages. Again, if you have liked it, and I hope you have, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. It's the easiest way to support me, and it's free. Please comment in the comment section with any feedback you would like to share, how much you like this topic, maybe if there was something you would have liked to see more of, or I don't know, if you wanted me to add charms next time, or again, like how much you like this topic, if you would like to see more readings like this or related topics to this in the future, let me know in the comment section. And also, again, if you're interested in a private reading, check out the video description. I will leave my email address there. I will also probably leave it in the pinned comment. I mention this all the time. I do not spam people. So if you're curious about my pricing list, reading options, you can drop me an email and I will answer with the information you ask for. Aside from that, if you would like to support this channel further and you would also like to have access to more content, I do have a membership section. Thank you very much to everyone who has already joined the membership section. It does make a significant difference for me, and it definitely encourages me to keep posting. So yes, if you are curious to see what I posted there so far, you can search for a keyword on my channel like members only video, and you will see all the videos that I posted, all the titles. And yeah, you can also see the prices in your local currency if you click on the join button. So please consider joining, and I have some ideas of videos that I'm going to be posting soon in the membership only section as well. Aside from that, of course, if you would like to support my channel further, you can do so by sharing this channel with anyone that you know is interested in tarot, pick-a-cards readings. Aside from that, of course, you can also leave a tip with the $. Any amount is much appreciated. And then, of course, last but not least, many of you already know this, I have an astrology channel called Astro-Martine. I post videos especially from the Vedic astrology perspective there, since I have more than 10 years of experience reading horoscopes from the Vedic astrology perspective. More than 20 in astrology in total. So the previous 10 I was in tropical. And I have explored everything that I could in tropical and then moved on to Vedic because I found it way more accurate from every perspective. But I still kept some of the techniques from tropical that I felt Vedic was lacking. So I do also a lot of my own empirical research, and I like to use a lot of practical examples of horoscopes of famous people in my video. So if you're curious about astrology, go ahead and check it out. I also have more than 350 videos on that channel because it's been around since 2016. And I have entire playlists only on, for instance, relationship-oriented astrology, horoscope, relationship analysis of famous people and famous couples. So yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. And I also like to use my insights from other metaphysical sources of knowledge like numerology, the Chinese astrology systems like Bazi, Yue Do Shu, also the Mayan horoscope, the Mayan zodiac, and also some other metaphysical sources of knowledge that I cannot disclose here. But yeah, I use a lot of information in my channel, and again, I would greatly appreciate it if you checked it out, maybe subscribed. Once again, it's called Astro-Martine, and I will be linking it in the video description as well. go ahead and check it out. And thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you at my next tarot reading.